Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Ali, and it's been a while, but I've got another quick video, and we're going to make it very short on some settings that are going to be really useful to use on the DJI Osmo Nano, and sort of straight out of the box. So you can almost just unpack it and get going with it. And I think first up is going to be make sure it's in 4K resolution. It's only a very small sensor, very small camera, so it's going to need all the help it can get to get that really good image quality. And the difference between 1080 and 4K is day and night when it comes to a sensor this size. So make sure, if you've got the storage, make sure you put it in 4K. Next up is white balance. The auto white balance on these little cameras, especially DJI products, is very, very good. If you're going into, let's say for example, you're going from indoors to outdoors and you have your white balance set to manual, then the camera is just gonna stick to whatever you set your white balance, and you're gonna see some huge color shifts. Setting it into auto white balance is gonna really help you have that transition from indoor to outdoor, for example. So you probably see a slight color shift, obviously, as the white balance changes inside the camera, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as noticeable if, say, you had it in manual. So to get going with this camera straight away, pretty much straight out of the box, I would just keep it in auto exposure. These little cameras, meant to be POV cameras, then they can shoot very nice image quality. I do have very good image quality, but they're not going to compare to, say, a big mirrorless and paired with a big lens. The science just doesn't work like that. Physics doesn't work like that. But let's say you keep it in auto, and for the ISO settings, I would have it, say, at anywhere between ISO 100 to 3200 or 6400. You can select the different ranges. Don't know if you can see, but I've just got mine on. We'll get rid of my face. Yeah, you can see 1000 to 6400 there, and just keep the EV, well, have it down to, say, -3 or -0.7. That'll give you a little bit more contrast in the image. That shadows will be brought down a little bit because, as you know, with these cameras, they like to boost the shadows quite a lot. Also, another quite important setting that many sort of casual users might not see or use is the bitrate, and you want to just make sure you turn the bitrate up to high, and you can find that in the settings by swiping down, clicking the cog icon, and then going down to bitrate. Just make sure that is set to high, just like mine there. That's going to focus. Of course it's not. There it is. There you go. Yeah, bitrate high. It's just a little bit more data in the file, and you'll just see a slight improvement. I mean, it might not be noticeable to most people, but there will be just a little bit more data in the files, and obviously more data means slightly better image quality. So yeah, a pretty good one and quite an important one. But for terms of keeping it simple, and you don't want to sort of color grade your footage, I wouldn't worry too much about the bitrate, but yeah, it's there if you want to. Will increase the image quality a little bit. So yeah, an important one, I'd say. In terms of color profile, if you want to just get going with it straight away, I would put it in the normal color profile, but make sure you turn on 10-bit color, because that will just give you a little bit more data in the file, and you'll be able to manipulate the colors if you want to in editing afterwards. However, if you want to make the absolute maximum use of the dynamic range in this camera, I would put it in 10-bit D-Log M, and then you've got the benefits of D-Log, or a log profile, which sort of compresses the highlights and the shadows, and then you can add contrast later on in your editing, and that just makes the image look a little bit, say, more professional. Also, it will take the sharpness off the image, because as you know, these little cameras like to add a lot of sharpness, digital sharpness, and shooting a log profile tends to reduce sharpness. Yeah, and you can also manipulate the colors quite a lot more because of the log profile, and also having that 10-bit as well. So if you really want to push the colors, not necessary at all, but D-Log M will help you do that. So moving on from color profiles, and it links quite nicely actually to sort of sharpness of the image. If you go into the image adjustment tab on the Pro menu, you can change your noise reduction, and also they call it texture, which is essentially just sharpness. If you want to take that digital sharpness off, I would put your texture down to at least -1, and also your noise reduction down to about -1 or -2. Experiment, see what works well for you, and see how you like your images out of when you've adjusted your image using texture and noise reduction. So yeah, have a play with it and see how it looks for you. Okay, let's have a look at field of view and stabilization. And this is personal preference for the field of view. I quite like experimenting with 4x3 at the moment. You just get a little bit more height on the top and on the bottom of the image. Obviously this is shot in 16:9, and you can also have 16:9 on the Nano. But you can just see that maybe not, if we're going to focus a bit, a 4x3 image is slightly sort of narrower, and in terms of the length, and then a bit more on top as well. But yeah, that's just my preference. You can put it in 4:9, 16:9, and then also stabilization. I put rock steady on, swipe up on the main screen, and then tap the top right button. So yeah, rock steady on. There's no rock steady plus on the Nano, and also you want it in dewarp standard. I just say standard and then dewarp in brackets, and that's just going to get rid of any sort of distortion around the edges of your frame. And it works pretty nicely. You can have it in wide, but I kind of like getting rid of that distortion, a bit more straighter lines. So now onto audio. If you click the settings on the right hand side of the main home screen, you'll see a little audio icon on the top left of the pop-out menu, and just put that into mono. I mean, you can play with stereo, but mono is a little bit easier when it comes to having it in your editing, when you're editing your audio. That's what I found anyway. And noise reduction I've actually just kept to standard. Obviously that depends on your surroundings and the environment you're in. If you're by a noisy road or there's lots of background noise, then maybe you want to turn that up. But generally the noise reduction on these DJI products is pretty solid. In terms of the gain, yeah, when you've got your mic connected, that is. Obviously don't have a DJI mic connected to me at the moment, but if you've got a DJI like the DJI Mic 3 or the Mic 2 or the Mic Mini, then have a play with your gain. But this obviously depends on each person and how you sort of project your voice, but turning the gain down to -1, -2 will just protect your audio levels from peaking, and then obviously destroying your audio files, which you don't really want, to be honest with you. I think the most important thing when you're using cameras like the DJI Osmo Nano or the Go Ultra by Insta360 is just having it in the settings that is like most useful to you, most simple settings, just so you can sort of, there's no friction between you and the camera, and then you can just start making the content you want to make. You haven't got to worry about all these different settings. Yeah, just make it as easy as possible so you can start capturing the content you want to do, especially if you want to be filming outside. Just, press record, go. Simple as that. I'm guilty of it, to be honest with you. And I don't particularly like filming in public, I'll be honest with you. I don't think that many people do, or at least you've got to get over that fear of getting your cameras out in public, because when you start doing that, that's when the content really starts to flow and you can get into the zone and create good stuff. So yeah, making sure these little POV cameras, Osmo or the Go Ultra, the Osmo Nano, sorry, the Go Ultra by Insta360, are in their most simplest form, I guess you could put it. That's when it's going to be best for you, and just reducing that friction. So that's it. Thanks for watching. A quick video about the DJI Osmo Nano and which sort of best settings to use to help you make the most out of this little camera and to pick it up and use it as much as possible. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up and give me a quick subscribe if you fancy it. Don't have to, but yeah, see you in the next one. Cheers.